The things we saw in Game One was the Dallas Stars moving Mikko Rantanen around. I don't know if you were expecting to see a lot of him, but now as the role you play, do you have to be prepared from time to time to see the Moose?
Yeah, I think you're always prepared. Obviously, it's a high-end player that they have over there. He's been on a heater there lately, so you kind of figured they're going to get him out there on the ice as much as possible, and we saw that. So I think we can just do a little bit better job of closing on him and hopefully limit his chances tonight.
From the context of, I think it was about 7 or 8 minutes before you had your first shot attempt, let alone a shot. So from that idea, clearly getting into the Dallas zone and creating some mayhem earlier is one of the keys for tonight.
Yeah, we've had a few tough starts at home here, so that's definitely something we want to clean up and kind of go from there. It's obviously, Helly made some huge saves to kind of keep that a 0-0 game for us, but ideally, we'd like to be at the end of the rink pressing.
There's been some talk about the differences in time and space that you guys have versus Dallas in this series. Can you articulate that at all? Is it like you hit a fastball for a while, now it's an off-speed pitch, or can you make it make sense for us?
Yeah, I think all teams play stylistically differently, and that's also only game one of that series, so we'll kind of see the way they want to adjust to it. But to me, that's a real veteran team over there. They really know how to kind of limit chances off the rush. You see a lot of guys pouring back, very similar to kind of the way we want to play. So, at times it feels like you have a little bit more time with it, but at the same time they're reloading so hard that it's ultimately about kind of getting your feet moving and creating space for yourself. So, it's just a little bit different. But as the series goes on, there's always adjustments, so we'll see where it goes.
So it's almost like speed is still important because you can beat them up the ice and they're protecting the middle by reloading like that.
Yeah, obviously St. Louis had some success against us and kind of jumping their D up in the play, forwards beating their check back up the ice and trying to join the rush. So I think that's obviously something you always want to do regardless of who your opponent's against, but regardless of who your opponent is, but I think it'll be a little bit more important here tonight for us.
How does rebounding from a playoff loss, whether it's this one or one even later on in the series, how does that compare to rebounding from regular season adversity?
Yeah, I think big difference is you're playing the same team over and over again, right? So, it's real important to kind of have that short memory. I think that's something that, playing your first few years in the playoffs, you realize that that's kind of a skill you have to learn, and being able to kind of flush that last game. So there's always differences in kind of the style that they're going to play and the strategies they're going to employ, obviously, but ultimately it's just kind of a war, and you have to go out there and usually have the same matchups night in, night out. So it's definitely a challenge, but it's kind of something we look forward to.
Skill, or it's just going through it, just the experience of it?
I think just going through it. You kind of learn it as you're going through it, I guess, if I want to answer with both of your answers there. But, if you're able to flush those last games quicker and then kind of move past it and have a fresh start, each game kind of approaching it on an individual basis, I think that's kind of the best strategy.
Do you have Josh back tonight for you guys?
Yeah, obviously he's a huge player for us, so we're excited to kind of, it sounds like we're getting him back. I'm not 100% sure yet, but if he's out there, he's a huge help for us, so we're excited for it.